John from Let's Talk, and today we're going to be talking about the latest film from Alex Garland, Men. But before we dive into that review, I just want to remind you guys, if you like 4K Blu-ray reviews, film reviews, tech reviews, and video game reviews, we do them all here on this channel, so make sure you subscribe and hit that notification button. So Men was released on May 20th, 2022, and it's distributed by A24 Studios. So what did I think of Men? Well, I gotta be honest, I was pretty disappointed by this film. I've been going back and forth on it since I've seen it. I didn't really know which way I was leaning because Alex Garland has directed two of my favorite modern sci-fi movies in Ex Machina and Annihilation, which are both great films. And Annihilation I really think I liked more than most people. I feel like a lot of people walked out of Annihilation disappointed. Now, Men is not a sci-fi movie. It might have some sci-fi elements, but this is more of a horror movie. Actually, it's more of a straightforward horror movie, right down to the amazing horror score and the way it's shot and the use of practical effects. It's very much a horror film. So our main character, played by Jessie Buckley, her husband has just died. It's believed that he's committed suicide, and she's going on a vacation to help heal in the country, and she goes to a house up in the country in the hills, all by herself, where she's going to, ease her mind because of everything that just happened, the great loss of losing your husband. And when she gets there, things start to get off the rails. As you might have noticed in the trailer, all the men in this town are played by Rory Kinnear in different types of practical makeup. And it's actually very well done. Like, if you didn't notice that was his face, the makeup really does hide it very well, and all the characters that he is playing are played perfectly by him. It's honestly a great acting performance from him, from Jessie Buckley, and from Papa Esadu, or Papa Esadu. I'm not too sure if I'm saying his name right, but for the parts in the movie where he plays Jessie Buckley's husband, like where you only see him in certain scenes and mainly in flashbacks, playing back the same scene, like we get different aspects of that scene. So in the scenes we see him and Jessie Buckley fighting or yelling at each other back and forth, I thought that was actually some of the best acting in the film, bar none. I thought that Jessie Buckley really played her character perfect, which is not a shock at all. Jessie Buckley is one of my favorite actresses right now. She did amazing in Fargo Season 4, The Lost Daughter from last year, which actually earned her an Academy Award nomination, and from a couple years ago, I'm Thinking of Ending Things, directed by Charlie Kaufman, which is one of my favorite films of that year. She is just one of the great up-and-coming actors. I fully believe that she is going to win an Academy Award at some point. That Academy Award nomination was no fluke from last year. She is amazing, and she does a great job in this film. Now, what holds this film back for me is not exactly what you might think. This is a technical masterpiece. It's shot beautifully. The score was haunting and bone-chilling and got under your skin. I loved it. I love the practical effects in this movie. This was a gruesome horror movie with some really gruesome, really certain aspects of this film actually got under my skin where I had to turn away for a second. And I never have to turn away from anything. I just didn't. I was like, oh my god, that was brutal. And it looked like it was done practically with some CGI mixed in, but it really did look good. And the way this movie was shot was just beautiful. This is very much an art house film, so there is a lot of time spent on images or just shots on the water or shots on the trees with the wind blowing over the grass or like a puddle or something like that, or just like a mountainside or a hillside, and you get lots of those and they just looked beautiful. It really popped off your screen. If this eventually does come to 4K, it's really going to show off the visuals of your TV's capabilities. So I really did love that. So what holds it back for me? Well, it's the story itself. I gotta be honest, I really couldn't get into the story. I had no emotional connection other than some scenes where Jessie Buckley and her husband really kind of sold to me that emotional drama. But as far as everything else, I should have been more afraid, and I didn't feel afraid. And I get the full message of what this movie is trying to tell you. I understood the message about, I would say, like a third into the movie. And it just kind of felt like they were trying to portray that message in a very, with a lot of imagery and like a lot of okay, this is what we're trying to say, but we're not saying it directly to you. But I feel like it was still pretty obvious what the message was. There really wasn't no context needed to it, and they really just kind of were trying to hammer it home in like a very, I guess, an elevated horror way is the best way that I could put it. I feel like a lot of films are trying to do that now, and it just didn't work for me in this one. I really didn't enjoy it. I really kind of walked out of it feeling kind of flat and just not like this was my kind of film, and that really disappoints me because Alex Garland was 2 for 2 for me, and this one was a swing and a miss. I loved how good it looked. I love how well it sounded. I loved the way it was acted. Everyone was doing their job, and sometimes you fumble the ball a little bit, and for me this just didn't work. I think this is going to work more for a lot of people, and maybe I'm in the minority of it. My wife saw it with me. She didn't enjoy it at all. I was much higher on it than she was. We both understood the story, so there wasn't anything that we felt like we were missing, but it just You know, sometimes the story just falls flat for you and it underwhelms you. The message they're trying to show you is just, I guess, too obvious. I don't know. It didn't work for me, and I kind of felt bad about that. And it's gonna hurt just overall for me as far as going forward. I can't see myself revisiting this anytime soon. I'm sure I will, just because when I eventually go back to Alex Garland's work, I want to see what I was missing, because you never know. This is my first viewing. I could get something more out of it later. When the 4K comes out, maybe I'll pick it up and watch it again and be like, okay, let me see, sit down, go scene by scene, and see if maybe something is just a little better, and it just didn't work for me at that viewing. We'll find out. But anyway, I can't really say that it's a perfect movie and you should go out and see it. I still think you should, because it's a good enough movie and a good enough technical movie that if your appreciation of cinematography or your audiophile, this is definitely for you. But if I'm going to give this movie an overall score, I'm probably going to have to give Men a 6 out of 10. It's also Friday, guys, and that means it's time to give you guys your digital code giveaway questions. This week you will have the choice of 3 digital codes. You'll have the choice of either The Predator, Moonfall, and Uncharted. You'll get to choose one of those 3 if you are the lucky winner, and to enter, all you have to do is answer one of the following 2 questions. A, what is your favorite A24 film? If you're a fan of A24, pick any of your favorite films, and whichever one you like, you just have to answer that. And if you're not a fan of A24, what is your favorite horror movie since the year 2020? So you got 2020, 2021, and 2022 to pick from. Just answer one of those questions in the comment section, and then you're entered in our digital code giveaway. And then you come back on Monday in our Always Sunny in Philadelphia episode review. So at the end of that video, we spin the wheel, and that's where we pick a winner. And that's all there is to it. And guys, that's all it takes to enter into our digital code giveaway. I hope you enjoyed this review of Men. And if you like the videos that we're doing here on this channel, please make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and tell all your friends.